I'm Tim Stevenson, co-founder of Dynamic Shoulders. We provide shoulder rehabilitation for active and athletic people. And not only do we have a specialist professional skill set, I've got some personal context here as well. As a rugby player, I went through 6 shoulder dislocations and I ended up having 2 surgeries. Despite doing everything that I was told to do in the rehab, I was in fact an A-star student. I got to the stage where they told me that my shoulder was technically fixed. I'd passed the protocol, but I didn't trust it. And I definitely couldn't get back to training or competing in the way that I wanted. And that experience taught me something really important. Just being pain-free and passing a protocol doesn't mean that you're actually ready to perform. And that's a gap that still exists today. The standard rehabilitation system treats the injury but rarely prepares a person for real-world demands. So at Dynamic Shoulders, we help active and athletic people recover from shoulder injuries by combining physiotherapy and a strength and conditioning approach. Our goal isn't just to make the shoulder feel better. We're about rebuilding strength, confidence, and real-world capability so that people can lift, train, compete, and live without worrying about your shoulders holding you back. Now, we term this as reconditioning, and I've been in this space for a long time. Since 2008, when I started working as a professional strength and conditioning coach, and I've worked with European, Commonwealth, World, and Paralympic champions. We started Dynamic Shoulders, and we specialized in shoulder rehabilitation since. In 2025, I was awarded Health and Wellbeing Coach of the Year by the UK Strength and Conditioning Association for the work that we are doing in this space. We've now helped well over 300 active and athletic people resolve shoulder injuries. But the problem is, shoulder injuries are often much bigger than what people realize. The shoulder issue rarely is just a shoulder issue. You see, every session starts becoming a negotiation. What can I press today? What movements do I need to avoid? Can I throw my kids around in the swimming pool? We start constantly second guessing everything that we do. And over time, that is obviously going to lead to stalled progress and lost confidence, but it adds a massive amount of mental fatigue. We stop doing the things that we love. We start to accept a lower level of performance. We just keep pushing through because we're sick of the thing until a major flare-up forces us to take time off. And some of us even end up having a surgery. But at a deeper level, it also starts to affect our identity as an athletic person. I can so vividly remember the day when I had to face the reality that I couldn't be a rugby player anymore. I'd played for over 20 years and I was through and through a rugby guy. All my friends were rugby guys too. And then the fear of having to lose it all was a really difficult thing to come to terms with. Now, what doesn't help in that situation is actually the rehab can feel really random. We end up bouncing between clinicians or techniques. We get loads of generic exercises. You go online and you just get this shotgun, scattergun approach of all sorts of different ideas. None of it sticks, and the problem becomes chronic, and it can even trigger a spiral of depression. So to make sense of all of this, we developed our Shoulder Reconditioning Method. It's a step-by-step, not only evidence-informed, but personally tested approach to shoulder reconditioning. And the first thing we need to do is find out what the root cause is. And we start by looking at what success looks like for you. And then we take a real deep dive into the injury history, the training background. We'll do a detailed assessment, including utilizing technology that usually is only accessible by those in elite sport. Now, the objective here is to identify exactly what is driving the problem. And we're going to develop a strategy to move you to a better place. Secondly, we then are going to restore pain-free range of motion. We can use graded exposure of loads, intensities, volumes, positions, and patterns to help you safely return to full range of motion patterns with mobility, stability, and strength. We then need to add strength into that equation. We've got to progressively build for the movements, the patterns, the skills, the sports that matter most to you through progressive overload. And number 4 is about moving in more ways. A robust shoulder needs more movement options. So in this stage of the methodology, we are going to enhance and develop your physical literacy. It's a fun way to get more athletic, it's challenging, and it is a world away from the traditional rehab exercises that you might typically have experienced. And then finally, we're going to talk about being strong for life. Education is such a key important part of rehabilitation. You have to understand how to look after your shoulders for the long term, particularly if you're bringing a little bit of baggage to the table possibly in the form of instability or shoulder dislocations or surgery. It's all about giving you the confidence to run your own program so that you can stay in a good place and not find yourself back in the starting point of having to try and unpick this complex shoulder injury. And the outcomes of the methodology are simple but profound. We rebuild robust, stable, strong shoulders, and we focus on function as the ultimate outcome, meaning that those shoulders are ready for the demands that you want to place upon them. We're going to help you get that athletic self back, rediscover that identity. You're going to regain a confidence to train fully, compete, push your limits, not holding back, not modifying sessions, not having to say no to things that would otherwise make you happy. And importantly, we need to break the repeat injury cycle. Getting someone back to sport is only part of the process. What really matters is keeping you there. And our methodology will get you stronger, it will make your shoulder more trustworthy, and over time, we're going to implement a strategic and structured plan that works. It's tried and tested, and we've got proven results that tell incredible stories of lives restored. Our mission is simple. We rebuild injured shoulders so that active and athletic people can live, train, and compete pain-free and with confidence. And you know by now that this is going to come from a deeply personal place. I've been where most of our clients are, and I refuse to accept that the gaps in standard rehab can't be addressed with a better approach. And it is that drives us. The belief that the world's approach to shoulder rehabilitation has got to evolve. Imagine a world where athletes and fitness enthusiasts know that their shoulder is ready for sport, for work, for play, for family life. Not guesswork, no limitations, just a restoration of performance and confidence relative to their world and allowing them to do the things that matter to them. So if you are struggling with a shoulder problem, take our free 2-minute online shoulder assessment. You'll get clarity of your recommended next steps, and you also have the option to book a call if you want some more personalized support. We can deliver our coach rehab programs through a hybrid model, including in-person assessments and supported with remote coaching, so the power is in your hands with the flexibility to train where you want, when you want, but still be supported by an experienced coach. And then, as I said, after the main program, you're going to have a greater understanding of how to keep your shoulders feeling strong and the tools to implement into your ongoing program. But there's always more that you can do if you've enjoyed the style of program that we utilize. At Dynamic Shoulders, we are specialists. We are leading the evolution of shoulder reconditioning. We're passionate, we're dedicated, and we truly care about the people that we serve. Our clients leave our program hopeful, capable, and feel deeply understood. Like someone finally gets my shoulder problem. Because we don't just solve shoulder problems, we're actually interested in rebuilding lives, performance, and restoring confidence. We talk about strong shoulders for life. That's for the things that you want to do and for the long term. And that's what drives us every single day.